T.O. The fins look real, you know it's a deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears all up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching into it, the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady impact, tail dead in the lot. Defense was strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Your fellas, roll the clip, only fans.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to OnlyFans, a Dolphins postgame show presented by Sports with Soso. I'm your host, Joel, aka the Delusional Dolphin. And before we get started, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have hit the subscribe button, drop a like and leave a comment. Now, today, I'm with my boys. I got Soso from Sports with Soso. What's going on, So? Oh, one time. Hold on. We got a little malfunction there. What's going on, So?
I'm good, man. What's going on, brother?
There we go. And then we got Martin from the All Fan Podcast. What's going on, Martin? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
I felt that.
Yeah, I definitely felt that sigh right there, man. I was told to bring the energy, so I'm bringing the energy, and that's what I'm going to try to maintain. But it's tough to after this first loss on this road trip, man, against the San Francisco 49ers, boys. The team goes down today 33-17 against San Fran in a very strange loss. I'm gonna describe this as an odd, strange, confusing loss for the Dolphins. Let me get some initial reactions. Martin, I'm gonna start with you this week, man. Give me an initial reaction for this game.
Confused. I'm gonna say confused.
I don't know if I'm confused.
Man, a few words.
Yeah, for real. But I don't know if I'm confused, but I will say this. I'm kind of not surprised about what happens when you don't have a running game, right? And what we saw today was Tua not having his best game, the offense having a tough time getting started, and then right after that, you see the result of not having a running game where we can't control the clock. We continue to get quick 3-and-outs, and we can't convert on crucial short yardage plays without running the ball outside or getting Tua to, get outside the pocket and make a throw.
And I guess I'm going to give, now that I've completely loaded, the reason why I say I'm confused is because this was a very winnable game. And I did not see that coming into this game. I thought they were going to, like they did, they controlled the clock. But I think if we play a little better, we're looking at going down to 2 minutes and possibly winning this game, to be honest, or maybe winning this or leading this game, going down to the 2 minutes left in the game. I feel like there was a lot of miscues. There could have been better play from the defense. Although to me, and everybody's gonna call me a hater for it, I think this game falls on Tua's bad play. That's just my opinion. I feel like the defense, although they didn't maybe look elite out there, they allowed 3 field goals in the second half. You really there's nothing more you want from that.
But Joe, I want to give you a chance to talk about this. But like for me, the defense gets no replies here too. Like everybody had a bad day at the office today. There was one guy who played their ass off on defense. His name is Christian Wilkins. That's the only guy that we can say played their ass off. Because even Howard's pick, right, came on him being in the right position where he should be, and he ultimately made the catch, right? The defense gave up 2 touchdowns to a third-string quarterback who was the last pick of the draft, a guy who, should not have had the ability to make throws like he did and drive his team to get touchdowns. And, yeah, he has all the weapons and stuff like that, but we have weapons too. So it goes back to what you were alluding to earlier where Tua did not have his best day, and when he doesn't have his best day, the Dolphins can look as bad as they did today.
That's the thing. I don't think we looked entirely horrible. What I saw there was a third-string quarterback that was brought in to dink and dunk and give the ball to your ball players, your playmakers, and they were able to make those plays. McCaffrey, I think, touched the ball in the first half on 75% of the snaps, which is crazy. Especially since he supposedly came into the game being hurt. He had probably his best game as a 49er on the ground and in the air. So I wouldn't say, Purdy made some good decisions and he made some good throws, but overall, I think the pressure was there. There were some stupid penalties that kind of caused some drives to continue. So that helped the offense on their end look a lot better too. Because then they were crucial penalties too. They were third down penalties. They weren't just first down. They were extending drive penalties. So that to me, again, I'm not saying, hey, the defense did a great job. The offense should have pulled it out. I'm not saying that, but you have to realistically look at the game. We're like, they allowed 2 touchdowns in the first half. Okay. After that, it was all field goals. You think that, they're not going to score with a system. And I don't want to keep dragging on, but you're looking at an offense that's made all. I know I'm ready for you guys after this. You're looking at a system that with a system quarterback like Jimmy G coming in, the offense looks like a plug and play. I'm not saying that Jimmy G is a plug and play, but he's not a great quarterback.
No, I get what you're saying.
Knows the system. Obviously.
All right, before we keep jumping off the rails here, I just want to rewind all of this real quick and describe for those that didn't get a chance to watch the game what happened in this game. So to start the game, the Dolphins start off with a bang-bang 75-yard touchdown from Tua to Sherfield, and we're thinking, wow, we got what it takes. We deserve to be here. We're number one in the AFC East for a reason. This is going to be a walk in the park.
Right.
But the next two quarters – I think every Dolphins fan thought that, Martin. That is safe to say at that point in time. If you're a real Dolphins fan, that's exactly what you were thinking.
I want to say
now. I digress. The next thing I want to say is we went 2 quarters without putting up a single point. The second and the third quarter were abysmal, and the remainder of the first quarter, for that matter. And while the San Francisco 49ers went on to put on 23 unanswered points on us. And it was brutal. It was tough to watch, man, because we just couldn't, we couldn't get anything going. And to your point, Martin, it was on Tua's shoulders. It was on this guy right here. I'm repping his jersey. I just got this. I was hoping that maybe this would bring us some luck. But I might have to go return this jersey. I'm going to have to go return it because it was not what we needed today. But
Steve was calling you Ray Finkel, but you look like Ace Ventura when your hair is being pulled. That's what it looked like.
Hey, well, that's none of your goddamn business, man. But Tua just didn't look great, man. It didn't look like the Tua that we've seen all season, the accurate Tua, right? Where he's putting the ball, in between the numbers on the money. He was putting balls high. He was putting balls behind receivers. He wasn't making the right reads. He looked a little anxious in the pocket, shuffling a little too much. And it struck me as odd. That's why I said that to lead off the podcast, is because, it was just very strange to see Tua, somebody that's been doing so well after he's come back from those 2 key injuries and perform so well, to see him now look flustered in this game in San Francisco.
I think he did look flustered, but it was a combination of things, right? A combination of the pressure being brought by Bosa and the rest of that defense. Greenwood played amazing for the 49ers. And like that obviously had him feeling some type of way. But even on the other counterpart of that, like we saw receivers drop some passes that they could have caught. We saw Sherfield make a drop, get a challenge, and then we ended up having to go for it on 4th down again. And then same thing with Gesicki. He can't bring the catch down cleanly, and they have to get the challenge to get it again in the 4th quarter.
That's later on already towards the end of the game.
But I'm just saying those little things like the drop passes, the not making completions when you could have, those are things that led to Tua looking way worse than he probably played today. But the numbers look like he played bad.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the numbers, right? 18 for 33, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions, though, were real ugly. Why? Because, again, the game. Look at how the game played out. So the second half starts. They get the ball to start the second half. They continue to do what they're doing with their run game. They had a phenomenal run game with Christian McCaffrey and their backup quarterback. But we weren't able to get anything going, and then Tua throws back-to-back picks on back-to-back possessions and attempts. So that right there, is not what we need when we're trailing by 2 possessions and we're trying to get back into a game here.
For sure.
Yeah, and I don't think the stats really say bad a game. If you just look at stats, look at numbers, it's not horrible numbers. I think it was just situational play, situational mistakes that really put your numbers just add on to bad play. That was my opinion. 295, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's not horrible. It's horrible compared to what you've seen the last couple weeks. But to me, even without the picks, he had a bad game. I don't need the interceptions to solidify he had a bad game.
Yeah.
That's why I say
we go into the fourth quarter and we're down 2 possessions. And to start the fourth quarter, we're able to get the ball all the way down the field on a nice connection from Tua to Tyreek for a touchdown. And those were the 2 touchdowns. So you're talking the first opening touchdown, which is a 75-yard run basically from Sherfield, and then the long catch from Tua, from Tyreek, yeah, which was the probably their highlight of the game. Well, the second highlight, I guess. The Sherfield one was disgusting. But aside from those 2, you take those 2 away, and the rest of the game was ugly, man. You know, because Tua just did not look good. If you watch this game, you just saw the kid look off. And to make it all, you know, even better, at the end of the game, he walked away with an ankle injury.
Yeah, and it didn't look nice, like a good injury. Like he was walking on it gingerly. I don't think it's gonna knock him out of next week contention, but definitely not what you want coming out of this game. So that's why we saw Skyler get in there and take some snaps to end the game. For me, it just exposed us, right? Like if you can take away our passing game, or if Tua has a bad game, we don't have another offensive weapon that we can use. Even though we have guys that are talented in that position, we have amazing running backs. We don't use them. Those guys had a total of 8 carries today, dog. Like, just for comparison, the running back, like you mentioned, Joel, the backup running back for the 49ers, their rookie, Jordan Mason, he had 8 carries by himself. And he had, 51 yards on the day.
Yeah, he ran the ball well.
Ran the ball extremely well, but he got the opportunity to do so. Right. We got to start giving our guys a chance to run the ball if we're going to have any chance to make a deep playoff run. You know, people want to put us in Super Bowl contention. Hey, we can make it, all this stuff. We're dangerous, but we can't just be a one-dimensional team. We have to have that other aspect of the offense. If not, we're putting a lot on Tua to say, hey, go out there and be an MVP, game in, game out.
And I kind of agree with you more. No NFL team goes deep in the playoffs without a balanced scheme. Unless you have Mahomes, and unless you have Brady in his prime, you're not doing it, because even the last few years, Fournette has been a pivotal part of that run. If we don't try to solidify that every game, I'm sorry. Even if I don't care. I'm not gonna say the word. I don't care how good Tua is. Without a balanced attack on the running game, we're not going to be that good. We're not down the stretch.
We've been saying it all season. Yeah, all season long, man. We've been asking for it.
I just like to repeat myself. That's all.
No, but it is the key to the success of the playoffs, right, Joel?
We know it. Everybody here on this show agrees, man. If you watch football, if you're a fan of football, I mean, you have to have a run game. I mean, it's not just one side, unless. I mean, to me, the way that I feel about the offense right now is we're like Golden State, right? With 3-pointers, and you live by the 3, you die by the 3
for sure.
So it's like, all right, we're gonna ball out, we're gonna air it out every game. Cool, Tua might go 40 for 55 or something, with 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, or he could potentially get knocked around late in the game, get hurt. Throw a couple picks, you know what I mean? And we don't have a run game to try to pick us up. So we need to develop that identity, especially with the thing that irks me the most, man. If this was last year's backfield, no offense to these guys, but if we just had Myles Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed, and we were like, oh, man, we don't have enough of a run game. It's like, bro, we don't have enough of a run game. Right. But we got Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. that are explosive. We've seen what they can do when we hand them the ball. And we're not doing that. I don't understand why that is. Now, one thing to note, we were missing 3 out of our starting 5 linemen. We were without Teron Armstead this game. We were without Austin Jackson, and Liam Eichenberg continues to be out. So we're dealing with, some younger guys, more inexperienced guys. But if that's the case, man, I feel like I would rather run the ball, put the ball on the ground, rather than risk Tua getting hurt, having these guys protect them. And maybe, now in retrospect, maybe that's, subconsciously Tua didn't have the faith in these guys to stand there confidently in the pocket and make these, these progressions and make these proper throws. And I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, we're ranked 29th in the NFL. That has to show you that there's an imbalance here, right? And it's like you said, before we could point to the fact that we didn't have talent in the backfield and say, okay, maybe this is why we don't run the ball. But we have 2 guys, 2 ex-49ers, playing back in their home, against their ex teams. Like, get these guys a chance to shine. And there was 2 plays in my mind that stuck out specifically. 2 draw plays. especially in the third quarter where we were making the comeback and we ended up connecting with Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. We ran a draw play with Moser. Moser got I think 10 yards, 8 yards on that. And I was like, bro, how is this guy not getting the ball more often? You know he's amped up. You know you can take advantage of an aggressive D-line, right, who wants to get after the quarterback by running the ball, running draw plays like that. And we didn't do it enough. And it just pisses me off, man.
And
really,
he had Raheem Mostert had what would have been his longest rush, I think like a 12 or 15-yard rush that he broke out to the right and just kind of got away from everybody out to the sideline. Got called back because of a holding call. That was complete BS. I mean, if you look back at the call, it's like, come on, man, you're going to call that for holding and you're not going to call some of this other stuff. So, yeah, it sucks, man. We need to get these guys more involved. We need to have more of a run game in order to be, real contenders, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then going again, we're just continuing the away stance. We're going to the LA to play the Chargers. Now we're gonna go see, and then we're gonna see Buffalo. Two teams that can bring us problems from the D-line aspect. And I don't think the O-line was really the problem today until we got to the point that we were 3rd and long, and Bosa's like, "You're gonna give me some time to get to you, and I'm gonna do it." So
Bosa had a day.
I can't really complain about the O-line's play. Like, realistically speaking, for first, second down, well, for sure, I saw pockets that he had time because those oversails that he threw weren't because he was rushed. He really wasn't. So I'm not going to give him that excuse. The O-line without Armstead, without Jackson, without don't say that name. Eichenberg is just, I don't know, it's just another roster spot. But without them, they looked solid. Like, those are practice squad a couple weeks ago. Those are backups giving you the time to do what you need to, and you don't deliver. It's hard for me to do this because
I don't think it's just that simple, because honestly, like, the O-line did struggle today. You know what I mean? The whole offense did not have it. Whatever it is that makes the offense really click today, it wasn't there for whatever reason. We saw flashes of it, right, where Tua was able to get a clean pocket, like you said, and step into the throw. Whether it was off or on, he had the ability to do so, and we were able to move the ball. But this offensive line did not do enough, right? Or we can't grade them enough because all we did was sit back and try to throw the ball. It makes us one-dimensional, so it's hard to grade them. And even still, if you look at it, we gave up 3 sacks for 20 yards, and we probably had over 4 QB pressures on that day. So I don't know, man. Not the best day.
When you're playing from behind, the 49ers know they're going to be able to attack, and that's where a lead for them helps. If we're looking at a more, together game, like we're literally looking at a 17-13 game, whatever, you're not looking at those blitz dialed up just as much as they were in the second half.
My only thing to counter that is that these are the type of teams that we're going to face in the playoffs. Teams with good defenses, or an ability to take an offensive weapon away from us. Because even though Waddle had an injury today, he only had 1 catch for 9 yards. Like, that's another threat that they took away, and we had nobody else really step up except for Sherfield's catch for a touchdown.
Wasn't great, boys. It wasn't what we wanted. We've been streaking. We were streaking for a while there. This is the first loss for Tua this season for as far as games that he completes. And
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This loss doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. If you're able to clean this up the rest of the way, you saw what your problems were. If you can clean this up, LA is a beatable team. Buffalo hasn't played great, but they're getting it done. And they still have Josh Allen, even though he's recovering from the injury.
Right. Don't forget that guy.
This could get better. This could get better. Yeah. Like, so
I see what you're saying, and to an extent, yeah, I do agree. The fact that we're 8-4 now after this loss, correct. It's like, damn, all right, the Dolphins 8-4. I mean, that's still a pretty good record considering historically what we've always done, or haven't done for that matter. But it is concerning. A couple things. Tua didn't look great. Our O-line is still banged up. Defense, some questions around there right now as far as as far as I'm concerned, there's still some questions on the defensive side as far as what we're doing out there, and we're still continuing this road trip, so we need to make sure that we bounce back. We need to make sure that we don't go on another streak here, another losing streak, and pop 3 in a row. That would take us back down where we don't want. And I do disagree a little bit that it doesn't matter in the sense that this is a 2-game swing in our division. The Buffalo Bills beat the Patriots last Thursday. Now they're number 1 in the conference, and we're a game behind, where last week it was the other way around.
Because the Chiefs lost.
Yep. So there's not a lot of football left this season. So we need to make sure we can turn this around and play better, man. Get some dubs out.
Yeah, look, you mentioned the loss and where it sets us. Right now we're back to the number 6 seed. Got Buffalo sitting in the number 1 in the AFC at 9-3. Kansas City 9-3, right behind them, obviously due to a tiebreaker. And then you have Baltimore, who saw Lamar Jackson go down with an injury at 3. Tennessee is holding down their division at 7-5. And then we have a team that we beat or that beat us right in front of us. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. So a lot of teams 8-4, a lot of teams in that range for that home playoff game in that first game of the first round of the playoffs. And I feel like the Dolphins need it. You know, our record would even show it. We're better at home than we are on the road.
But that's why I liked this loss, to be honest. It's weird to say, but
don't say that. There's no liking a loss.
Listen to what I'm going to say.
An acceptable loss, but you can't say I like this loss.
I will reword it. We haven't seen adversity in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it's been.
Fair.
We're going into our first away game, and I don't know how many games. You want us, and you're losing to a very good 49er team. If you can learn what you needed to off this game, and possibly win one of your next 2 games on the road, which we haven't been historically a good team on the road, maybe hopefully just squeezing into the playoffs if it has to be, because I don't see us getting the 1 seed. That's me realistically speaking. I think the Bills are going to get, or no, like I'm saying in our division, if they're going to get the Chiefs or them, I don't know. So we're going to eventually end up, if we make the playoffs, be on the road. So we need to learn how to do that. We need to learn how to win on the road. And I feel like this mistake today, cleaning it up and hopefully getting better on the road and not being like, hey, we're the top dogs in the division, because I feel like that is a road for success. I'm sorry. Us thinking that we're the shit, it's not going to be good for us.
Probably.
We need to get through the grind. Hey, this team, we're not the best team, but we need to become the best team, and winning on the road is going to be key to that. So that to me is the light at the for this game.
Poorly phrased sentiment, but very, very well said recovery. So,
bro,
I'm with you there.
I'm not perfect.
You got us back. You got us back. You lost us for a second there, but you got us again.
I'm not good at public speaking, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's all right, dog.
So take us to our 3 and out.
Our 3 and out, man, presented to you guys by Empire Boutique. Make sure to check them out on Instagram, Miami Springs, Florida. Check out the drip. You could only get it there. And they got some exclusive Dolphin stuff coming out. So make sure to check them out on Instagram. This is our 3 and out, where we're going to bring you our underwhelming performance of the day, our bruh moment of the game, and our aqua and orange lining. Looking forward to next week. For our underwhelming performance of the game, I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to say it was Tua's performance. I've seen this guy play so much better this year. And for this to be his one game where he looks bad, I can't not point it out. And I just feel like it's justice to say he's human. He can have bad games, and this was one of his bad games. Joel, what's your underwhelming performance of the game?
My underwhelming performance of the game is going to go to Coach Mike McDaniels, unfortunately, man.
Good call.
8 rushes between 2 elite running backs, and I consider these guys to be elite if you give them the ball. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. Our O-line's banged up. We're going into foreign land against a former team of yours that we know can run the ball. Fight fire with fire, man. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of the run game.
I hear you, brother. What about you, Martin?
I'm going to give it to 2 people. The ones that were flirting last week, looking all pretty on the sideline, Tua and McDaniel. You're not looking so pretty this week.
Yeah. It's not a good look right now when you're joking and having a good time on the sideline and then have a bad performance the week after. It's not cool. Our bruh moment of the game. Let's start with you, Martin. What was your bruh moment of the game?
Wow. Okay. So to me it had to be the over. Damn. I'm lost for words this time around. I think just seeing Garoppolo go down and then not getting this win, I think overall just gave me that like what the moment.
Got you.
To me.
Got you. What about you, Joel?
For me, it wasn't an exact moment. It was more of a I guess you can. It was a drive. I mean, we picked the ball off. A few minutes left in the first half. We're down. We needed that. We needed to do something. We needed to score, and we just turn around. We give the ball right back to the Niners, and then they end up scoring just to close out the half right before they get the ball in the first half. And I think that really killed our momentum, man. It really, it really killed us going forward. So that was not great.
For sure. For me, my bro moment of the game was Gesicki's non-catch in the fourth quarter. He had a chance to really get his big ass hands on it, reel it in, bring it down to his chest, and make the catch because he knew the ball was coming to him. The play was designed for him, and for him to do this weird ass thing and like act like he was getting that reception afterwards was like, come on, bro, you know you don't got that, man. Like that was just a weird moment for me, and it obviously ended up costing us the game. So, or any chance of us getting back into the game. And finally, for the aqua and orange lightning of the week, I'm gonna kick it off. And I'm going to say it's the primetime game against the LA Chargers, Sunday Night Football. We didn't think we were going to get too many primetime games, but lo and behold, the great season gives us an opportunity, thanks to the flex scheduling of the NFL, to be back on NFL, main stage. And like Martin said, bounce back and get a road victory, a hard-fought road victory. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, can we become road warriors? Because we're going to need to in order to be deep in the playoffs.
That's good aqua and orange learning, man. We got to get this training. Joel, wrap it up for us and take us home, brother.
My aqua and orange lighting is just that. So exactly your sentiment, man. We were playing the Chargers next week. They're coming off of a loss. We got a primetime game. It got shifted into prime time. You know, it's the battle of Tua versus Herbert. Who's going to come out on top? I think with a game like, the ones that these guys both just had, Herbert losing his, Tua losing his the way that he did, they're gonna come out and they're gonna be hungry for a win next week. So next week should be fireworks, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Good call. Good call.
Gentlemen, great show, great time. Not a great game, unfortunately, but hey, better things are ahead, hopefully. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And on behalf of the guys here on OnlyFans, till next time, y'all. Peace.